In this session, let us try to discuss about the angiosperm flower. Parts of an angiospermic flower. So this is the diagrammatic representation of a flower showing various parts. The stalk, this is called as the pedicel, and this is the receptacle. Then the outermost whorl, this is the sepal. The second one is the petal, and the third one is the stamen, which consists of anther and filament, and the innermost it is the pistil, which consists of stigma, style, and ovary, and ovary encloses ovules. Flowers are the reproductive parts of a plant. They are not only involved in reproduction but are also a source of food for other living organisms. They are rich in the source of nectar. Flowers can either be complete or incomplete. A complete flower is the one that consists of sepals, petals, stamens, and pistils. An incomplete flower is the one that lacks one or more of these structures. A complete flower consists of two different parts, vegetative parts and reproductive parts. The vegetative parts, petals, this is a bright colored part that attracts bees, insects, birds, etc. The color of the petal varies from plant to plant. Some are bright while some are pale colored. Thus, petals help to differentiate one flower from another. Sepal is the green colored part beneath the petals to protect rising buds. Some flowers have fused petals and sepals, while a few have separated petals and sepals. The reproductive parts of the flower include stamens, which consist of a filament, anther together forms the stamen. The anther contains the pollen sacs, which holds pollen grains or microspores. This is the main reproductive organ, also known as Androecium. This consists of two parts, namely anther and filament. The anther is a yellowish sac-like structure involved in producing and storing the pollens. The filament is a slender, thread-like object which functions by supporting the anther. Pistil, this is the innermost part of the female reproductive organs of a flower, which comprises three parts: stigma, style, and ovary, and this is collectively known as the pistil. Ovary, solan part, this is the style, and terminal stigma. Stigma is the topmost part or receptive tip of the carpels in the gynoecium of a flower. The style is long, tubular, slender stalk that connects the stigma and the ovary. The ovary is the ductless reproductive gland that holds a lot of ovules. It is the part of the plant where the seed formation takes place. Now, whorls of a flower. A flower is composed of four whorls, which are largely responsible for the radial arrangement of a flower. And the whorls are Calyx, Corolla, Androecium, and Gynoecium. The sepals are collectively called as the calyx. The second whorl is the corolla, which is a collection of petals, and similarly the stamens called as androecium and carpels as the gynoecium. The calyx is the outermost whorl of a flower. It comprises sepals. It protects the flower's whorls against mechanical injuries and desiccation. Some plants have colored sepals and calyx and are called as petaloid. Corolla. This is the second whorl of flower and consists of petals. It attracts pollinators due to bright colors and scent. It also protects the reproductive parts of a flower. Then the third whorl is the Androecium. It consists of stamens. The pollen is produced by the anther, which contributes to the male reproductive process of the plant. Gynoecium is the fourth whorl of a flower and consists of carpels. The carpels contain the pistil, the female reproductive part of the flower. It comprises the ovary, style, and stigma. The egg or the ovule is present in the ovary. After fertilization, the ovary becomes fruit to keep the seed. Functions of a flower. The most important function of a flower is reproduction. They help in the union of male and female gametes. The gametophytes develop in the flowers. After fertilization, the ovary of the flower develops into a fruit containing a seed. Flowers provide nectar to certain birds and insects, which in turn help in the transfer of pollen grains from one flower to the other.